All right, guys, looks like we are live and ready to go. Welcome back. Remember, this is not financial advice, personalized or general. This is just entertainment and me sharing what I do for our fund. Now, I'm actually watching AIM right now, which is looking pretty wild. Oh, I gotta change our browser, our source. The source is going to be AIM. There we go. Big support off 164. You just saw that come in. Look at the volume on this ticker. It doesn't really show on TradingView so well, but on ThinkorSwim it shows 1.5 million. So the volume is definitely here. Good to see that. I'm going to go ahead and add AIM to one of the tickers that we're watching. I think we might be able to see a move to 2. That's what I'm looking for. Crazy support off that bounce off 167. I'm not buying it yet. I'm just going to watch this one for a bit. It's really the only ticker moving right now, and close to pre-market or market open. It's quite unusual that we get a random new ticker right before market open. I'm a little skeptical that it's going to pop right over to 2, but it might. Anyway, I don't see a perfect trade here, so we're not trading this one. We're just watching it, seeing what some top cappers are. I'm going to start putting tickers that we talk about in the title above. That way, we can always keep track of of what we're trading over the days. Man, right now our watch list is just crazy red again. CRSP down, X-Ray down. PayPal still trending down at 41. I thought it was going to start hovering around 44. Diageo down 0.2%. QXO down 0.5%. Yeah, it's just been a bloodbath this week. Even earnings that aren't that bad are just destroying tickers, absolutely destroying them. We entered a trade with Goos as well. If we could probably get a very conservative entry around, I don't know, 1.4 or so, I think that'd be a little bit more interesting for us. Somewhere in this 5 zone. Look at this pullback here. I mean, it was a 15% pullback. And so far, a 12% pullback. I don't know if we get another 15, that would put us maybe at that 50 zone. But I'm trying out placing trades via IB, Interactive Broker, from TradingView. It's kind of interesting. It's a little slow, but I'm just seeing if in general it even is a viable thing for us to be doing. Okay, it's going into that territory that we were looking for. This is 1 minute chart. Here you can see the 5 minute a little bit better, 15-minute chart. Now, what's nice about AIM is it actually has a catalyst for once. It's been crazy how many tickers don't have a catalyst lately. So positive phase 2 results, pancreatic cancer. finding that pretty critical support here. 15-minute doesn't really show much. It's up on the day though, 45%, even where it is right now, so definitely warrants a little bit of confidence. Trending down though. Big support in the 40s. It is below VWAP, typically something that we tend to trade much less. But like I said before, 146, 144 is definitely an interesting zone for even a small bounce. I'm not in love with this ticker, but you know, just the fact that it has news and there's a pre-market gapper with news is almost pretty exciting on its own. There you can see a pretty solid 6% bounce. And that is right off that zone we were talking about. So there was potential. Not really anything else moving this pre-market. We're going to want to watch out right after the market opens. We have jolts coming out prior at 7.1 job openings million, and forecast is going to be at 7.2 billion. Does this one have a chart? I'm not so sure. Looks like it does. It has a weekly, so potentially coming down to a bit more support, but the overall trend is down without question. Other than that, and that comes out in 52 minutes, so on the hour. AIM bouncing, so it was a pretty good setup for that bounce trade that we were potentially going to take, but we did not. Trading calendar this week is pretty chill, as we talked about in other streams. I mean, it is just kind of a bloodbath out there overall. NASDAQ, big sell-off, SPY sell-off. It was trying to hold this area, and it was pretty good, but now it's starting to face a little bit of difficulty. We're officially weak on the red on the week. Russell finding that big time support, bouncing higher. Bitcoin continues its sell-off. It's at such insane support levels. I actually want to share a little bit about coin. Go to the 5-minute because we have a little bit of a position coming up on coin. Finding huge support here. I mean, look how insane this is. Huge support here. This is a daily chart. Big support. And this goes all the way back. So let's actually go to a weekly. Check this out. IPO, big bounce. Then the dead cat bounce, channel, support, becomes resistance, becomes support. So this area is very interesting. Not saying it will, you know, hold here forever and or it's going to reverse here and shoot back higher, but there should be a lot of volatility here in the short term. So that's in this green zone is where we're looking to build a little bit of a position. There's more selling going on out here than anything. See if there's any prediction markets worth talking about. This Bitcoin 15 minutes up or down is so ridiculous. But it has a ton of volume, so there we go. What's NNE? AIM having that pullback. Goos. Look at this, absolute demolish. Now we actually bought some Goos. Down 7%. This is actually a limit order we've had for almost 3 weeks on Goos. So we finally bought it into the sell-off. Right around here, we're down roughly 7%. This is an initial size that we were planning to hold for quite some time. So maybe we'll be averaging down in the next few days. Or not, who knows? I mean, it's been such a volatile market. It's been really crazy lately. We got 18 minutes before the market opens. What's up, Zero Blue? Happy to be popping back up in your feed. Look, he's still got a top fan crown. How good is that? Let's check out in the next few minutes here a little bit of news. See if we're got everything in an overview. Get ready to burst out of your best coastal grandmother cardigan. What? Christmas. Okay, NASDAQ down, S&P down. Oh, you know, and we were just hitting those 25 zones, 7,000 on S&P down, you know, getting that 50K in. Now we're dropping back. Well, it hasn't hit it yet, but so close. Bitcoin just absolutely getting crushed. This sell-off on Bitcoin has been continuous and it has been strong. So again, that is why we are looking for some bounces off the lows on tickers like Coinbase Or you could buy the index like FBTC from Fidelity, the ETF. Stocks mostly performed their own rendition of Tom Petty's Free Fallin' yesterday, as fears that AI could take a bite out of software companies' businesses continue to rattle investors. More on that below. Advanced Micro Devices tanked despite its earnings beating estimates. This is what I was saying earlier. Like, earnings are not that bad right now, and you have tickers reporting earnings that are, better than estimates or not that much worse, and they're dropping 20%, or with Goos 17%, or with PayPal 20%. It's crazy. So there's definitely a lot of fear in the markets, and it's pretty easy to feel that. As a weak sales outlook raised questions about whether the chip maker can take on NVIDIA. AI's latest victim, software stock. Now, I don't feel like this is a surprise to anyone. I think the only surprise here is the fact that it's taken as long as it has. I mean, last year we were talking about in Q3 already, the whole circle jerk of AI and tech companies and chip makers, right? So this is nothing really new. Let's keep reading. The SaaS apocalypse is upon us. Service as a software, for anyone that doesn't know, but I'm sure you guys all know. It has turned Wall Street into a scene from 28 years later. That I actually do not know, 28 years later. Anthropic rolled out a new AI tool for its co-work assistant this week, intended to automate contract review, legal research, and drafting. Not bad. The tool shook an already nervous market, hiding fears that AI could threaten a whole range of software companies, from app developers, stock market data aggregators. I don't see the news. We all already knew this. Okay. How bad is it? A global software sell-off continued for the second day yesterday after wiping out almost the $300 billion in market value on Tuesday. The damage was widespread. LegalZoom fell nearly 20%. And that's, just ticking up a little bit after that. Companies that track package market data got hit hard. The London Stock Exchange Group dropped 6%. The S&P Global fell 11%. Biggest drop since the start of the pandemic. Data and legal services company Thomson Reuters fell 16%. The panic spread to the tech sector, more generally dragging the S&P down. Yeah, no surprise there. So I'm still watching AIM. Let me go back to that one. No trade yet for me on this. We are very close to taking a trade earlier. It would have been good, 12%. If you're curious, a lot of my trades will actually not be on IB. They're going to be on ThinkorSwim. But I just have this chart open because it's easier to have everything on one browser. The major difference is that on ThinkorSwim, the volume is very different. It's almost always 3 times as much. So we're seeing 1.5 million on this candle. So much, much higher. I'm not sure why there's such a discrepancy between the volumes, but here we are. This sell-off didn't start this week, no surprise. I mean, it has been going on for a while. Let me move this over here. AI companies have been rolling out ways for anyone to build software or vibe code, regardless of coding experience. Whether these tools are good or not doesn't really matter as far as the market is concerned. The potential means companies could cut off their pricey contracts with HR, software providers, IT vendors, and entire Adobe suits. Yeah, I mean, again, nothing new. I don't even know why this news is moving the market. Is it a surprise to people? I have no idea. The money side has noticed. And this reminds me of the market can be more irrational or irrational longer than you can be solvent. And, this is classic. Just like Michael Burry started shorting the index last year, you just don't know how much higher it's going to go. And that's why I'm not a big fan of short selling, because at one point the price becomes irrational, right? It becomes totally detached from fundamentals. Private credit firms, which poured cash into safe software companies and counted on their reliable subscription payouts, have been hurriedly stripping them from their portfolio faster than you can say unsubscribe. Apollo Global Managed cut their direct lending funds for software investments almost in half last year. Probably a good idea. Good thing they did it last year and they didn't wait around too long. AIM looks like it might break back above VWAP. The silver lining, these unproven AI tools won't replace every software company oversight, and according to NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, AI replacement may never happen. Now, okay, well, let's keep reading. So some investors see that this is an opportunity to scoop up valuable tech companies that got swept into the panic. I agree to some extent. I think there's going to be some companies that are going to be very valuable in 1-2 years, especially companies like PayPal that are having a ton of free cash flow, and they have now a dividend, they have a share buyback program, and they're trending higher, or they just had a huge sell-off after earnings, which puts them in an insane DCA valuation, or at least trending below. So they're at like what, 35 million or billion dollars, and their DCA valuation is well above $100 price. And they're at like a $40 price right now. Okay, there's the AIM breakout. Let's just quickly watch this one. Very nice breakout there, 20% from the lows. Found that 9 EMA support. That's our blue line. Looking pretty healthy. I don't like trading so close to the market open, but if this was pre-market, let's say at, well, it is pre-market, but if this was like pre-market 7:15 a.m. Eastern, I would probably be on AIM. I also love the fact that it's having a 5-minute breakout, a classic 1 minute, looks like it might have a classic 1 minute pullback any second here. This is technically a textbook perfect trade. I just don't like the timing. I've gotten stuck into too many trades because of trading too close to the open. Weird things happen on a brokerage back end near the market open. Tour to headlines. Google. Google has been firing on all cylinders, huh? Have you guys checked out their stock? Look at this. Look at that chart. Absolutely crazy. It looks like they're down quite a bit pre-market. I don't get it. You know, they had... Well, actually, I do get it. I've been calling that this one has been overextended for a while, but again, I think they came out with pretty good earnings. Let's read about it. Just the AI spend was very, very high, and their free cash flows are hurting because of that, because they're putting all the money into AI, but they are just scooping up market share right now. You've got a... So here we go. Google is the latest to report an eye-popping AI spend. Yeah, okay, there we have it. You've got to spend money to make money, especially if you're a rich tech giant looking to develop AI. Luckily for Google, parent Alphabet, it has money. The company reported that its fourth quarter revenue grew almost 114 billion. Dang. 30% jump in net income to 34. That 30% jump, that's insane. The company clinched a record 403 billion in sales in 2025. I'm gonna write some of this down. So we got Google earnings. $403 billion, guys, in 2025. That is an insane amount of sales. But it also plans to spend big. Alphabet said its capital expenditures could hit 85 billion this year. 185 billion. That's no joke. double 2025 spend. The news, but again, that cash flow is just really nice. The news comes after Meta and Microsoft also reported major spending plans, sparking opposite reactions from the market. Okay, let's double click that, because what does that mean? Micro. Yeah, Microsoft is just getting absolutely destroyed. I mean, if you use Microsoft, well, if you zoom out, it doesn't look so bad anymore. But when I use Microsoft, I'm always like a little bit disappointed. I'm always like, you know, I could just be using something on Google. So there's that. Earnings coming out on Microsoft. Well, those are future ones. So the earnings came out yesterday, or on the 28th, never mind, take that back, 28th of January, not yesterday. We have another 4 minutes before the market opens. So let's get ready for that, and then we can read some more news if it makes sense. I do have to run, unfortunately, at 10 a.m. Eastern, so we got another half an hour, but that's fine. So it will be a shorter stream today. Bitcoin finding a little bit of support here. Let's go to, actually no, let's leave this one here. Goos, remember we're long Goos, somewhere right in this area. And here's our little bit of a coin trade. Oh man, look at that. Just kisses our limit order and then turns around. Let's keep an eye on that one for the open. I'm still watching AIM, but it might be a no trade for me. I only wanted to potentially get some action pre-market on it. But I'll keep an eye on it. Oh, there we go. We just had our fill on coin. Nope, I got an alarm going off somewhere. Here we go. And remember, the report comes out for jobs openings at 10 a.m. So you want to be careful trading really anything when macro news drops, at least for day trading small caps. If you're swing trading, if you're investing, it doesn't really matter. Tom says I'm heavy on IBIT. I feel like I've traded IBIT more times than I can count. It is ridiculous. Why? All right. I used to trade IBIT instead of trading Bitcoin. I think that's why. Yeah, Tom, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think IBIT, FBTC, these are, first of all, they're great ETFs. Fee structure wise, and the sell-off has just been beautiful, and we're around 30% down. We're at like 39.70. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a bounce here in this area, but we might have that continuation that just keeps going down. All right, there's the bell. Good luck, everyone. Well, there we go. We are partially out of our coin position. That was really quick. So this is exactly what we were looking for. So we want to sell the rest of this position up 2% right now. See how slow this interface is? I don't love it, but it beats anything else IBKR has to offer. So we're going to sell the rest of this position at 162. That's somewhere up here. I don't think it will get triggered, but that's what we're looking for. Move higher. Look at that, 2% move, just like that. Pretty insane. It might flush right back down again. So if it does, I wouldn't mind maybe grabbing a little bit more. Goos, we are back green on Goos. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to accumulate a little bit more, but I don't have a full position on Goos, but we are officially in the green on this one. CRSP, I might be selling CRSP on some personal accounts. We've been holding this one for a while. A little bit of a disappointment. DEO, I don't want DEO to keep selling off, so I'm watching it very closely. I'm going to move my alert down here, and if we break this key area, I would probably end up closing half our size on DEO as well. So let's go back to coin, see what's going on with this one. I didn't hear any sort of chirping. Goos, holy moly. Goos is everywhere, guys. How is this one, instantly pulling back so fast? Okay, there we go. We just sold our coin holdings. Not a bad trade. Very small size. I mean, we were long, 45 shares, times that by 163, times that by, what was it? A 2% win, 150 bucks. Tiny win, tiny size. Again, I'm just testing out IBKR, and yeah, usually on will be. Yeah, the same trade on ThinkorSwim would have been probably around 60,000 in size. So a $1,500 win. Still nothing too crazy, but obviously a bit more interesting. Love the setup. I think we walked through it all together pretty nicely. I hope it made sense to everybody. So that's exactly why we took the trade, because of big time long-term support. After many months, support here on the sell-off, many times try to hold. Let's go to weekly, it looks a little bit better. Retest, breakout, retest. Now it might just dump all the way through, who knows? But it definitely was going to see a little bit of action, right? So we sold here, we left maybe 0.8% on the table. But I'm super happy about our entries. I mean, they were just superb. So that's really nice. Let's go back to Goos. Lucy Goos. Oh man, there is just so much going on right now. This is very unusual for a large cap day. I mean, look at my alerts are just nonstop. Okay, I gotta move some of these around because this is absurd. I love the support we are seeing on ALB. Look at this. We rode ALB, I think it was somewhere in the early hundreds. Either it was on this pullback or this pullback. I don't remember entirely. And then we sold at the 51 part, or 50s. Yeah, 51 right here. So really nice move. But yeah, we sold way too soon. But I'd rather sell too soon and get a meat of the move than get crushed. So let's go back to coin, see what's up to. Coin is pulling back. You know, no, it's actually still continuing. There we go. Let's go to Goos finally. Talk about this one a little bit more. This is a ticker we've been following for a really, really long time. Let me go to the daily chart. We really like their financials, and we are waiting for a longer term position on this one. I, for a long time, wanted to buy a lot of these, and I thought we were stuck in a channel here. Just like that, channeling down. Man, I had so many close encounters where I almost bought and was looking for that breakout. And then I figured, okay, earnings are going to come up. It's been such a crap earnings season in terms of like even good news is bad news. So I'm just going to hold off. I had my limit order here near the big time support, and we had that huge sell-off. Now, this sell-off was even bigger than I expected. I didn't expect that we would just flush from the highs 24%. I thought it was going to be like a 7% flush at best. So, and it just goes to show, like, you got to be careful. You can't get over leveraged. Yeah, you just can't get over leveraged. You got to be very, very careful. Okay, so DEO is selling here. This is very frustrating. I was hoping we'd have that last push higher, although yesterday we had a really nice move on DEO. And it's just not really the market for, great movements. Let's keep a little bit of a closer eye on DEO. I really hope that maybe it's going to have a bit of a turnaround. Volume is basically non-existent as we sell off. So technically that's a good thing. That might mean that we have that chance for a big bounce. I'm going to put it right below that medium of VWAP yesterday. See, maybe there could be a turnaround. Maybe we can get a little bit of a rally after the morning panic, and then take half size off. The same thing actually happened to us on Ciss, and it was beyond stressful. So Ciss, huge move here. We are up 18%. We accumulated it in this area and in this area. We were up 18%. And then I thought we were going to have a little bit of a pullback in continuation into this potential head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And it just flushed. I was like, are you kidding me? So very, very stressful ticker for me personally, Ciss. So that's why I think with DEO, I don't want to overreact, but I don't want to be down 10% all of a sudden on this one. I'd be happy to, lose 2-3% off the top, but not 10% off the top. Especially in this market that we're seeing. Boeing, really nice move. We're up 2.5% on Boeing. We had a fantastic entry on this one. After that big sell-off it had after earnings, found support on key levels, key trend levels, and looking to actually hold this one into a breakout over 252, and then ideally sell this one into a move higher from here. So that's what I'm waiting for. It's tricky. Like, if we do break lower, I would have to stop out of this one pretty quickly. The markets are just so sketchy, Yeah, DEO is still selling off. Not really well. It's selling off much quicker than I expected too. I mean, you can see we've been holding this one for quite some time. We had to hold through some serious chop, but again, I'm really, really nervous on how aggressive things are pulling back lately. And you can just see it. I mean, look, this is insane. Like, why are these tickers selling off so aggressively? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the general market is selling off. So you have to be a little bit more cautious in that regard. Let's quickly take a look at the macros. SPY, Russell down. Oh, look at that. The SPY is starting to find a little support. So let's hold DEO a little bit longer. Bitcoin finding support as well. That is crazy. Yeah, I apologize, Zero Blue. Those alerts are annoying as hell. I've been trying to figure out a better solution for them. I don't have it yet, to be honest. I don't have a better solution for my alerts. Let's see here. Alert settings. They are crazy. They're crazy as hell. Alert volume. Let's reduce the volume drastically. Well, okay, you know what? That already might make it a little bit better. Zero, if you have any recommendations for alerts, maybe I just remove them entirely, the sound for you guys. I don't know. But I totally agree. They are obnoxious, and I've been thinking about it for the last few days. Because I felt the same way. They're horrible. Yeah, so DEO is also finding a little bit of support here, but you know, if I just go back to CRISPR, it's exactly the same thing. Actually, CRISPR didn't even find any sort of support. I mean, this ticker just like dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. Here was a little bounce. This was brutal. So technically, this is such a strong setup here where it holds its highs. Let's go back to DEO. Wait. AIM looks like it's kind of done at this point. Goos is finding a little bit of support itself. Basically at break even. AIM is capitulating. You know, small caps have been so bad lately. So bad. So, yeah, I mean, look at that mess. That is ugly as it gets. The only move I really liked was the support off of right here. That bounce, that 9% move that we talked about pre-market, but it's been so ugly. Okay, everything is going in the right direction except DEO. Well, you know, it does have a little bit of a bounce now, but you know, what was that for an open? I don't have a huge position in this ticker, but enough to... Why does it not show? There it is. You know, we're up 11%, about a 10K position. So this is about a $1,000 profit. I do think we have that potential to break higher here. I just don't know if it's worth the risk because, yeah, look at that, pulled back again. It should not be pulling back that aggressively. It just shouldn't. Anytime you have those big red candles, it doesn't really maintain its front side momentum. Yeah, it's way too much sell momentum. So I'll take some profit off the table on this one. I did not think it would be selling off so much, unfortunately. And let's go ahead, send. I think we might get some more trades out of coin and other crypto related tickers. I'm going to keep a really close eye on them. The sell volume on Diageo is almost non-existent. So, I mean, that definitely makes me quite confident. So we have potential upside of another 3%, but I think the downside here is just much higher. I wouldn't be surprised, especially in this market that we're seeing, where you just get that move, you know, down 4%, maybe even all the way down here quickly, and just, you know, in these huge flushes that this ticker is notorious for having. So that's why a little bit, what's the word, where you don't want to do something against my will. I think I'm going to have to close at least half this position. I think right now is a little bit peak fear. We're at 347. That's always a time where, you know, pre-market or market open, you have sometimes huge morning panics for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And then, I mean, sometimes 30 minutes, but, you know, around the 15 mark is usually when you start seeing reversals. And then you get a nice little pump higher. Doesn't mean it's going to be a perfect move like a morning panic and then rip higher, but sometimes that initial morning selling pressure starts coming to an end. But I'm not gonna lie, I mean, we're not really seeing that selling pressure coming to an end. Goose is trending higher, good to see that. We have 4-hour support, big time 4-hour support actually. With the 9 exponential moving average. Getting a little bit of divergence, but not enough to probably move the ticker higher. I think any sell at this point, around 920, 9620 slash, yeah, there we go. I was going to say 9630 would be pretty nice. So there we go, 9620, half size. And then let's see, maybe we'll rip higher here. I would love to see it. But if it, if it sells off, totally fine. Now we took the meat of the move already, and even if we go back to our entry at this point, it won't be such a disaster. Let's check out another ticker we've been holding for quite some time. Pizza. We started accumulating this one near these bigger support zones, and we're going to be looking for, the financials on Pizza are just absolutely superb. So we are looking for a longer hold on this one. Long-term consolidation here. It's down 77% from its highs. And this was all pre-COVID, growing company, good management. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they can, turn this around. But from here, it's about a, 60% move back to this range, and we're at the low of that range. So it gives us a lot of confidence. Obviously, it could just keep selling off another 14% or so. We already have most of the size on this one, so we can't really keep sizing down. Let me know if the alerts got better, if they're still super loud. I turned it down quite drastically, but you never know. Etsy, another ticker that fell off a cliff recently, one of our holdings. We're thinking about averaging down. Haven't touched it yet. Coin, let's see, it is back. Gonna put it on the lower range. It's weird that that one would just go off twice. Look at this, Goos. This is exactly what I'm saying, right? So %13 rev growth, led by strong D2C and wholesale gains in North America. Direct to customer, yeah. I was just thinking, I know what D2C means, but I just couldn't get it into my head. In North America and Asia Pacific, adjusted EBIT margin contracted due to higher SG&A and product mix, but margin expansion initiatives are underway for fiscal. Yeah. So they basically have high administration expenses. Sounds like a good time to let go of some people. Anywho, market doesn't hate what's going on. I think it was a classic sign of overreaction. and I think this one could be a really, really, really good setup here. Let's just look at the overall move. Big time support here. Oh. So we have a little bit of a trend line going on. Might be a bit hard to see. There it is. Finding support, broke down from that. It's an inverse head and shoulders. I'm very bullish on this one. If it keeps going lower, I would actually like to size into it a little bit more, and then we could do a deep dive on Goos if you guys want to. But I'm looking for this general higher consolidation, this higher stare, you can call it. So first stare, right? And then I'm looking for that second leg higher. So this was about 100% move. And if we can get another move like that, you know, that would put us in these zones over here. I think we'll see it. Just got to be patient. And let's... You know what? Let's put this over here, and we'll put a little bit of a price target right here where we want to potentially take some profits. There you go. Now you see it. So that's what we're looking for. Roughly an 80% move from where we're at right now. Goos. Let's check out DEO. It might be moving a little bit higher again. Nope. But we did get a pop to 96.40, so I sold a little bit too soon. But, you know, you could have said that here, you could have said that here, and then all the way down again. So at one point, you got to take some profits. Totally fine. Wow, a lot going on today, guys. We didn't even have time to read all the news, but that is totally fine. That's how it goes with trading. If, you know, some days there's absolutely nothing, and that's fine. And then some days, you know, it's really busy. So it was nice actually doing some trading again on the stream. I know it's been forever since we've done that. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I got to unfortunately run. I got a call, which I am looking forward to. But, yeah, we'll end it here. Let me know in the comments if there's any feedback, anything you guys want me to do more or less of, any maybe adjustments to the stream, like the alert noise, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. Remember, this is not financial advice, personalized or general. You guys got to understand and learn what you're doing and why you're doing it. This is just for entertainment purposes only. All right, guys, then I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Remember that from COVID time? See you guys.